Anybody get one of those hats?
Hey, Mayor, would you smile with all those suburban members of the board?
That one there looks like it'll fit Tom Turner's head.
Okay, Mayor, would you smile?
Anybody get one of those hats?
Mayor.
There, he says smile.
Mayor, would you smile? There you go. I was going to say, I saw it.
Open up and smile. Let me get you, Jim, get a shovel.
All right.
David
Get up there, yeah. Get that what?
This is the end of the ceremony.
Although I don't think that his is a real expectation. I think that it would be amount to throwing a vote away, and I think that matters are much too serious at this juncture in our country to be throwing votes away.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, do you have any comment on the developments in the Vista trial while you were out of the country?
No,
The
as I indicated
accusation that you
before
were
I
a
left,
conspirator?
how can I react to an accusation that's a non-accusation that was disallowed?
The accusation was made. Do you have
It was
any
also
comment on that?
disallowed.
Okay.
No, I have no comment other than it was disallowed. I'm not on trial. There is a trial going on, and I won't have anything to say as long as that trial's going on.
Can we ask one question? Devil's Night last night, reportedly over 400 fires in the city. Do you think some special measures need to be taken to get kids off the street on Devil's Night?
I think more than that, I think the kids had some help. I don't think all those fires were started by kids. I think there might have been some arsonists using the kids as cover. But in answer to your first question, yes, I think that all parents should be encouraged to keep their kids off the street and not offer cover for the arsonists.
You see some big insurance money coming out of last night, huh?
Well, I don't know how big it is, but to the degree that the arson produces insurance money, that will happen.
As far as tonight's concerned, Halloween night, are any special measures going to be taken by the police in controlling?
We always take what measures we can to protect the children and to control the celebration. The chief danger that we've had in recent years is from some perverted people who insist on putting dangerous objects into candy and fruit and other things that are given to children.
Mayor,
It's up to the parents, I think, to warn their own children about these dangers.
But no
Does
special
last-
curfew or anything for tonight?
No.
Does last night demonstrate the need for any more manpower in the fire department? At one point, all equipment and men were tied up.
I don't think there's enough manpower in the world, and there never has been. Historically, Devil's Night, as you will check your records, has been one in which there hasn't been enough fire equipment to handle the fires. Now, we have a situation this year, and we have had for the last several years, where you have more abandoned homes in this city than you've had in the past, which is an additional invitation to youngsters and others to set these edifices afire.
Mayor, you ever going to get your subway?
Well, I think that what happened there today is a positive promise in that direction. There's some who didn't think this would ever take place.
What about the Japanese imports and all? There are talks are beginning today about continuing the export restrictions.
Well, the talks that beginning today would be the continuation of the voluntary restrictions. Is that what you mean? Well, as I indicated when I was over there, I hope that they will continue those restrictions. There's every evidence that the Japanese put up barriers of one kind or another to the free entry of American products into Japan. And that is one of the reasons that there's been a demand in this country for local content laws. And these laws would be in retaliation against the barriers that the Japanese have put up. I would hope that until they have removed these barriers against the free entry of our goods into Japan, the Japanese would, on a voluntary basis, continue to restrict the imports or exports into our country.
Another question about your trip. Did you come back with any firm commitments of investment or growth in industry here in Michigan from the Japanese?
I did not sit down on a specific basis with any persons who might be interested in doing business. I accompanied the team. My job was to meet with the press, to meet with local groups who were investors, with the Japanese governmental agency that's responsible for stimulating and regulating trade in Japan. I met with the board members of Toyota Motors. I met with the American ambassador there. My trip was on that level. There were about 30 members of our team, many of whom met specifically with business groups and who talked specifically about investment.
Successful, Mayor Young?
I think that the trip was successful. It's the type of thing that has to be done several times repeatedly in order to be successful.
Do you expect any visits by the Japanese?
Oh yes. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Toyota has been over here, as you know, 3 times already. This is my first return visit to this city. I think that the Japanese will be coming over here.
Are people's reputations being damaged in investment?
Well, I think so. I've always been concerned about the reckless manner in which the investigations of the grand jury were leaked to the press and were published by the press. The best case of that would be Magnum, in which for over a year there was a steady bombardment of charges and counter charges and information, and in the end there wasn't enough evidence to even take the damn thing to court. Nonetheless, reputations were seriously damaged.
And that's happening now?
That's happening now. An early indication was the investigation around Frank Blunt. So there can be no question that people's reputations are constantly being damaged by these leaks from so-called secret proceedings.
It seems obvious that they are after you in this.
That's been my contention from the beginning.
Mayor Young, on the trial, though, are you surprised by anything that has come out in testimony, seemingly solid testimony in regard, for example, to the bribes or to the $361,000?
I don't know whether you heard me earlier when I said I didn't care to discuss the details of the trial. I think it would be doing a real disservice. People's lives, their freedom, their reputations are on the line. They're before a jury of their peers. I'm content to let that trial proceed without any kibitzing from me on the sideline. I hope that the press will cooperate in that, but I know you won't.
Mayor, in one of your comments overseas in response to the Vista matter, you said that unless you were on trial, you'd have nothing to say about it. Is that an indication that you don't intend to testify, if you recall?
I think I just told you I don't want to discuss the damn thing, right? So,
Okay.
well, please drop it.
Mr. Mayor, I think Dennis
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
It's quite possible that between now and election time next year that he may decide to support one of the other candidates, one of the other Democratic candidates.
I wouldn't know what Jesse might do. I have the slightest idea. He obviously did not consult me.
Would you advise him to do that, to support someone else?
I would hardly presume to advise Jesse Jackson.
Do you think his move would be very detrimental?
I don't know. It could be, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think that the American people, and particularly black people, from whom he would expect, I would assume, to get most of his votes, will show the usual good judgment that they've shown in the past and not throw their votes away.
Reaction to the AFSCME vote, Mayor, the ratification of the contract with the city workers?
I think it's very good. I hope that we can continue now and get ratification from the other unions. As long as the contract remains unratified, the clock is running, and it's costing the city money that we do not have. And as much as there have been several judgments that we will have to continue to pay the cost of the last contract until another contract is agreed upon.
But the AFSCME contract ratification, that's a positive mood in your...
I think it is. I think AFSCME represents, as you know, the largest single union involving city workers outside of possibly DPOA.
Mr. Mayor, getting back to Jesse Jackson, did you mean that voting for Jackson in the primary would be the same as throwing votes away?
Yes, he doesn't have a chance to win the primary, and any votes that he might attract could very possibly be taken from the more liberal candidates, and those candidates most likely to stand for the things that minorities and other people with liberal views espouse and need.
Would that be especially harmful to Mr. Mondale?
In my view, yes.
Mayor, can you tell us what exactly happened that permitted the city to pay the 6% increase to AFSCME after you said that we could not pay it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. We laid off. I guess you read that. We laid off in order to make up for the 6%, as we said we would have to